Episode 2: Pillars of Order and Hope.
Scene 1. The Two Who Stand.
Panic does not explode all at once, it spreads. Across the heart clearing it moved in ripples. Voices rising, hands gesturing too sharply, eyes darting back toward the northern shadows as if something might step out at any moment. The hurried rhythm beneath the ground pushed faster, urging motion without direction. Arkhon did not attempt to command it. He let the noise crest. Then he turned. "Thinksy," he said. He did not raise his voice. He did not issue an order. He extended his hand instead. Open, steady, offered rather than imposed. "They are afraid of the dark," Arkhon continued, his words carrying with unsettling calm. "Show them that the light has not gone." Every gaze shifted at once. Thinksy felt the weight of it like pressure against her skin. She understood immediately what was being asked. Not just of her presence, but of her meaning. If she refused, she would be the one who turned away from fear. If she accepted, she would stand beside it. For a heartbeat, she did nothing. The rhythm beneath the clearing tightened, impatient. Then Thinksy stepped forward. She did not take Arkhon's hand. She moved past it and climbed the stone herself, her silver light brightening as she rose. When she reached the top, she stood beside him. Not touching, not aligned, yet unmistakably paired. The change was immediate. The frantic pulse in the clearing softened, its edge dulled. The rushing beat gave way to something thinner, higher, like glass stirred by air. A delicate sound, almost calming, yet stretched too tight to be trusted, the kind of tone that promises beauty if it holds, and shattering if it does not. From below, the image was unmistakable. Arkhon stood still and dark, his form absorbing the warped sunlight, edges precise, immovable. Thinksy shimmered beside him, alive with motion. Light bending, reflecting, reaching outward. Order and hope, shadow and glow. Together, they formed a message so clean it barely needed words. Arkhon did not touch her. He stood just behind her shoulder, close enough that his darkness shaped the way her light fell. From certain angles, it was impossible to tell where one ended and the other began. "See?" Arkhon said quietly to the crowd. "You are not alone." The words were gentle. They were also final. Thinksy looked out over the clearing. Faces stared back at her. Some desperate, some relieved, some already convinced. She felt their fear ease as her light washed over them, and with it came a sharp, aching truth. She was helping, and she was being used. Lucy watched from below, hands clasped tight at her chest. Teddy did not look up at all. His attention fixed on lines only he could see. The three were no longer together, even in sight. The hierarchy had learned a new language. Not command alone, but comfort. Not fear alone, but reassurance shaped to serve it. Two pillars now stood at the heart of the Dreamwilds. One promised safety through control, the other promised hope through presence. And between them, unseen and unspoken, the space for refusal quietly vanished.
Scene 2. The borrowed breath.
The change swept the heart clearing all at once. It did not roar, it released. A single, collective breath moved through the gathered crowd. Long, deep, and heavy with relief, it passed from chest to chest like a soft wind, stirring fur and feathers, bending the grass outward from the stone where Arkhon and Thinksy stood. The trembling stopped, not because the forest had grown safer, not because the queen had retreated, but because fear had found somewhere else to go. Eyes fixed on Thinksy's glow, shoulders lowered, paws unclenched, the frantic urgency that had driven them moments before dissolved into stillness, thick and passive. A hedgehog leaned toward his neighbor and whispered, barely daring to voice the thought, "As long as that light burns," he said, "we're safe." The sentence required no response, it settled into the air as fact. Around the clearing, tools were set down, half-formed plans were abandoned, the instinct to prepare, so sharp only minutes earlier, softened into waiting. Why run drills when the light stands guard? Why plan when hope is visible? From the stone, Arkhon watched the transformation with careful attention. "Do you see?" he asked, spreading his hands just enough to include them all. "The queen brings chaos, confusion, endless motion." His voice was calm now, almost tender. "But we have something stronger." He gestured. "Not toward the forest, not toward the sky, but toward Thinksy. We have a pure heart." The words landed like a blessing, and like a seal, a murmur of agreement followed, quiet but certain. The name passed from mouth to mouth, gathering weight as it went. Thinksy felt it settle around her, tightening with every repetition. Pure heart, she had been many things. Curious, gentle, luminous, flawed. Now she was something simpler, and far heavier, untouchable, and trapped. At the edge of the clearing, little Mai stood with her arms crossed. She watched the faces, the softened eyes, the way everyone leaned just slightly toward the stone, as if gravity itself had shifted. "Humph!" she muttered, spitting into the dirt. "She used to dance with us." No one turned. "Now look at her," little Mai went on, louder, standing still like a statue. Still no one listened. The borrowed calm deepened. It was an easy peace. One that asked nothing in return but belief. A peace that rested on the promise that someone else would hold the fear, stand the watch, bear the cost. Thinksy felt their hope pressing into her light, feeding on it, dimming it by degrees too small to measure. Arkhon remained just behind her, his shadow shaping the glow she cast. Together, they stood as proof, and below them, the Dreamwilds exhaled, content, for now, to let its safety belong to someone else.
Scene 3. The Gilded Cage.
Thinksy stood where every eye could find her. The stone lifted her just enough above the clearing to separate her from the crowd below. She could feel their attention like warmth on her fur, steady, expectant, grateful. It wrapped around her light and fed it back to her, brighter each moment she remained still. A part of her welcomed it. For once, she was not the fragile one, not the one whose feelings arrived too fast, too deep. Here, she was strong. Here, she was important. Arkhon had given that feeling a name. She felt taller for it, but another part of her, a quieter, older knowing, pulled her gaze downward. Teddy stood among the others now, already half turned away, his mind elsewhere, drawing invisible lines through the air. Lucy was close by, trying to speak softly to those nearest her, hands moving in small, careful gestures that no longer guided the whole. They were below her, not by choice, by arrangement. Thinksy's chest tightened. She wanted to call out, to lift a paw and invite them up beside her, into the light where things felt simpler, safer. The words gathered at the edge of her mouth. Then Arkhon leaned closer. He did not touch her, he did not look at her. His voice reached her alone. Low, precise, stripped of echo. "You saved them," he said, "just now. Without you, panic would have turned them against one another." Thinksy's breath caught. "They need this," Arkhon continued, almost kindly. "They need you." A pause. "Stay here," he murmured, "do not move." The praise settled first, warm, reassuring. The command followed it in quietly. Thinksy nodded before she realized she had decided anything. Her light steadied. It grew cleaner, sharper. Less like a living flame and more like a beacon fixed in place. The gentle shimmer faded into something colder, more precise, reliable. At her feet, shadows stretched. They reached toward the edge of the stone, long and thin, straining in the direction of Teddy and Lucy below. But the brighter her light burned, the more abruptly those shadows ended, cut clean by the glow she forced herself to maintain. A thought surfaced, uninvited and persistent. If I stepped down, the rest did not need words. If she dimmed, if she faltered, if she proved ordinary, they would see her as she truly was, not a symbol, not a heart, not a promise, just a small bear, trying her best. The fear of that was sharper than the ache in her chest, so Thinksy held the light. She pushed it brighter, steadier, stiller. Telling herself it was kindness, telling herself it was necessary. Below, the crowd rested in the glow of her certainty. Above, Arkhon stood satisfied, and around Thinksy, unseen but unmistakable, the bars of the golden cage slid quietly into place.